Hello everyone. It is currently 11:50 on Sunday, August 19th, 2018. Welcome. I hope everyone is having a nice day today. Pardon the different angle and the lack of my face for now. That will be fixed soon. I'll be getting a second camera, so that while one camera will always be looking down at my work desk here, there will then be one that's of course looking at my face. And we'll have those split for this style. But that is neither here nor there. So I mentioned that I was going to do around the afternoon a reflection kind of period. This one, my Sunday has always been traditionally, I've done this many times, has been a reflection of my week more than a reflection of the day, and is a reflection utilizing the runes. That is one of my preferred tools. So I have my pen, I have a pen, some paper. What I always have done is put a paper on, I'll always write my intention, so if I bring it up, reflection of my week, keywords being exhaustion, missing time, and tired frustrations. The date is 19 August 2018. A basic prayer I always write down. I'll vary it up depending, but it's always related to the spirits of the runes, and then the spirits of the ancestors, specifically to stand together. I typically always do the 5 rune pattern, a basic 5 rune spread that's a line style. Also, this is my small book. I've had this book since I was middle school, 6th grade. So I've had this for many, many, many years, and I always keep it on hand no matter how much I've done this. But that's neither here nor there. For the runes that I'll be using today, I specifically use my quartz set for personal use. The easiest one to cleanse is the one I identify and connect to the most. So I shake gently. You can't see because the camera doesn't show my face at this point, but what I'm doing right now is a basic meditation calling to myself. Alright, I'm ready to begin. So the first rune that shall be drawn is for the overview. I have Onsus as my first one. Second, and let me write that down. Second rune. The rune of Odin for my challenge. Now that right there makes for an interesting mix. Third rune to be called is for my action. Laguz. Okay. Now for my sacrifice. Othello reversed. And lastly, the progression. Ewas. Alright, so now I'm just going to drop it down. So I have Onsus or signals, Odin or unknown, the blank, Laguz or flow, Othello reversed or separation, and Ewas defense. Correct? Yes. Alright. Of course, what I know of Ansus is, and I'm verifying with my book, just make sure, but it is specifically messages, signals, signs from the gods. In many ways, it is the divine connection. Okay. So Odin, the blank rune. A very powerful rune, actually. Of course. Sorry, I've always had a nervous mentality that I always like to make sure I'm verifying as I go through it. Yeah. Trust the unknown. Did you find something or?
Not yet.
Okay. Hmm. See, and that was why when I was saying, when I first drew them, to have the overview of Ansus means that for my overview of my problem, I drew that I'm getting signals from the vine. The vine signals, of course, make sense. But then to have my challenge be the rune of Odin, or the unknown, excuse me, shows that the challenge is to have trust. That I need to have trust, I need to have faith in the signals and the messages I'm being given. That could say a lot, especially when Laguz, or the flow, is my action. Laguz is the river. Yep. Water, river. Has facts. See, what I understood was Laguz represents represents the river's connection, but also, yep, the union, the merging, but also reflects studying and going with the flow. Once again, trust, connection. So to have my overview be saying that I'm being given messages or signals, sacred knowledge, that I'm being challenged on or the challenge that I'm facing is I must have trust, faith. I must accept my fears and keep walking. The action that I am to take then in regards to my challenge would be realignment, connection, studying, going with the flow, trust. The question now becomes, what is my sacrifice of Othello? So Othello is an interesting rune. I'll put it that way. Or Othila, both work. There's also Othes, which is another one that people use for it. See, what's interesting is I know that when it's not reversed, when it's normal, Othello represents. I'm just gonna start using Othello. Sorry, I learned it Othello originally, and that's what I went with. But we'll call it Othello or sacrifice, or separation. Sorry, the rune of separation. I've learned will also represent, of course, casting aside the old, submitting to the new, and truly giving up to be given more, if that makes any sense. But for it to be reversed is an interesting. Radical departure. Honesty. Honesty is the self. Selflessness. Okay. So, Othello, reversed. Radical departure from traditions. That makes sense. Honesty to myself and honesty to others. Selflessness, but also selfishness. To know when what helps me also helps others, and I'm not ignoring others for myself. And patience and willingness to step back and wait. We do without doing, everything is done. So, to look at that once more, because that's what I do, or look at it with regards to each one. Ansus, signals, divine knowledge, the messages from the gods is what is the overview was being sent. My challenge that I'm facing is a challenge of trust, of fears, of the unknown, destiny, karma, a fear of or challenge and fear of what will be these messages lead to. My action I must take to destroy my challenge, to grow, is to go with the flow, to realign myself, to connect, to study, to have faith and trust. In the process, I will sacrifice. I must sacrifice. I must make the sacrifice that calls on me to have honesty in myself, to be willing to step away from the old that I have lived in my life, the old traditions of some. Perhaps it is traditions of my home, traditions of the way I've been living, who knows. But it also could be saying that my sacrifice is that I must wait, that it is no longer on me. It could be, that's exactly what it could be saying. I have done everything to prepare myself for where I'm going. It is now just a matter of waiting for it to open itself to me, the door. So, at this point, if I were to do all this, my progression now, Ehwaz, the fence. That has always been, I think, if I remember correctly, associated with the tree, with strength. Yep, the rune tree, that's what I thought so. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure I also remember exactly. It's been a bit of time for me in some cases. Alright? So, looking at that part now. To look at the next part, that is my progression. How will things progress after this point? Ewas, defense, patience, strength in yourself, strength in what is coming, the tree that becomes the bow. Though there will be obstacles from this progression, though waiting will continue to be obstacles, I need to keep going and to accept that it will work out in the end. So what this tells me is, once again, to start from the top and go. My overview is Ansos, signals, messages, secret knowledge from the gods. That is my overview of what I am being seen, or what I am to look towards specifically. The challenge I am facing, though, in regards to this, is a challenge of trust, a challenge of fear of the unknown, of what will happen if I give in to these messages, if I act on them. To destroy the challenge that stands before me, of fear, of lacking the ability to trust, I need to study, to go off the flow, to realign myself, to connect, and to have faith. So I need to study, to give myself the ability to know the unknown, so that I can gain the trust to break my fears. Only by doing that will I be able to hear the messages and signals from the gods, from the universe around me, from what is happening. In the process of studying, of realigning, of learning, of preparing myself, there will be a departure from my traditions, to a degree. But there will also be honesty and selflessness of myself. I have to be honest to myself and to others of what it is I want. And I will have to be able to know that what I do, I do not do, and yet it is done. I will know that patience will be the secret. And from that point on, I will have accepted the messages from the divine. I will have broke my fear that holds me back. I will be prepared so that I may accept those messages, and then I am to just wait and continue. And that may sound depressing, that I may have to just continue being exhausted, feeling like time is missing from my day, feeling like I am tired and frustrated from long work hours, from long work days. But that is the secret of what I'll have to do. So in a second, I'm going to write that all down. And at that point, then, I will open the comments to you, my listeners, to give your opinions, see if maybe there's something I missed or something you may saw instead. So I thank you, and I wish you a nice day. I shall see you guys later in the evening to do the discussion.